willpower is not enough, okay? You may have thought that if you could just have enough willpower, then somehow you would force yourself to do every single thing that you desire. And it's not enough. It's not enough, okay? I'm Rosemary Nonny. I am the Prosperity Minister. I support you in leaving behind the pain, the limiting beliefs of the past, in regaining your self-confidence, okay? Regaining your self-confidence, because this confidence is such a big reason why people do not prosper in life. You get to live a free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love-drenched life if you are willing. And this is the thing, I see a lot of driven spiritual people like you and I, and this was definitely my life at one point, where I felt that if I could just will myself to just keep doing what I needed to do, you know, especially when you're looking to other people to tell you exactly what you need to do in order to prosper. And so then you're trying to discipline yourself into action forever. You think, if I could just discipline myself, if I could just force myself to do the things that I need to do, then I will definitely get there. And if you can't, you start beating yourself up. But the truth of the matter is that you can't. You can't. There is no happy ending to an unhappy journey. But I need you, there's a bit of a difference here, or there's a bit of a distinction to make here. There is an element of discipline that needs to be included in creating a successful life. Absolutely, no doubt about it. But what I see a lot of people doing is that they're disciplined in doing things they don't want to do. Okay? So somehow you're always showing up at the job that you hate doing, basically, but you're not showing up for the actual life that you want to create. So you're not doing anything towards the life that you do want to create. You know that you have a vision that you want to bring to life, and so you think that you can will yourself into doing it. But the problem for you is this: willpower is not actually created to last for a lifetime. Willpower exists for quick bursts of activity. So I need to do this quickly. You get this surge of willpower. It inspires you to move, and that's great. But then people try to depend on that surge of activity, the surge of energy, to make it through life, which doesn't work. Because usually they're forcing themselves to do things that somebody else has told them is the thing to do in order for you to be successful. They're not listening to themselves. So their inner feminine, whether you're man or woman, you have, and call it your inner child. Okay, and I know if you're not into all of this inner work stuff, there's a part of you thinking, I don't care about that stuff. I was you. I was you for a long time. I just thought, oh, you people, if you had the problems I had, then you won't be talking about inner child and inner feminine. Oh, please, what nonsense is that? I know you. But you're finding, and I found finally, that no matter how hard I pushed, according to my discipline and whatever, I was always pushing for the wrong stuff. So I pushed to become a pharmacist. I pushed to keep working 50, 60 hours, thinking that finally I would get myself out of debt. Finally, I would have more than enough or whatever. I don't even know what plan I thought I was following. It didn't work. It didn't work. I went bankrupt, despite working harder than I ever had, and despite earning more than I ever had. Why? Because I wasn't handling my internal stuff. Some of y'all were brought up Christian, some of you not, doesn't matter. There is a saying that the childlike inherit the kingdom. All the time that you're pushing yourself to do things against your true design, trying to use willpower to do it, you are saying to your inner child, remember, it's the childlike that inherit the kingdom, not the grown adults with responsibilities and all of that stuff. And I know you may, I hope you can hear me. Let's just put it that way, because I know a few years ago, I would have listened to someone like me saying what I'm saying right now and thought, you just don't get it. If you knew my story, you know that I have to push, I have to do this, I have to. It won't get you where you want to go. It's the childlike that inherit the kingdom. Willpower is not designed to last forever. You cannot willpower yourself into a more prosperous life where you have to continually do things that you don't want to do. At some point, because your inner child, whether it's being pushed down all the time or not, is more powerful than any other part of you. So you will at some point just quit, as in quit inside. And so some people just kind of get, oh, well, at least I have a job. And that was what I used to say to myself, well, at least I'm a pharmacist. Even if I can't do all the other things that I'm dreaming about, at least, you know, I'm a pharmacist. I can find a way to find satisfaction in doing that. No, I couldn't. Anyway, and in the end, thankfully, I went bankrupt. So I didn't fall into that whole path of, I'm just going to work for the next 40 years of my life and forget about having dreams. And maybe when I'm about 70, I'll finally be able to do some of the things I actually really want to do. Maybe then I'll have enough money to do it. Maybe then, because my parents, you know, won't need me and my family won't need me and blah, 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 blah. All the stories that people tell themselves that makes them sell their own life for another Bible story here. Sell their birthright for a plate of beans. You know what I'm talking about if you're into the Bible. But if you're not, whatever. Ultimately, what you're doing is selling your birthright of freedom, fulfillment, financial abundance, life, a love-drenched life. You're selling that for peanuts. Peanuts. Somebody told you that if you just work 40, 50, 60 years, maybe then they will give you a pension if you're lucky. That's if you're in the US or UK or whatever. In other countries, you just think you're going to have to do it until you drop dead. It's a lie. And you're using willpower to force yourself to do things you don't even want to do. Instead of tapping into your actual vision, deciding, you know what, yes, I'm going to be unbalanced. I'm going to be crazy for a few years here in order to build something that is sustainable and will go on for a long time. And that will create generational wealth. Instead of doing that for a little season, but then not doing it from a willpower perspective, because I definitely couldn't build this business just because I was pushing and pushing, pushing. Yes, I work hard. There's no doubt about it. But how do I explain this? I tapped into that more powerful part of me, that part that is more connected to the divine. It isn't just willpower that pushes me forward, that keeps the vision in front of my eyes, that takes me from one level of prosperity to another. No, it is my vision. It inspires me. I'm doing things I love to do. Even the journey feels fun. Even the journey feels fun. My focus is on the vision. I am moving towards it. That can be your life, where you're not living just for you're pushing and pushing yourself to create a life you don't even really like, that feels empty, that feels unfulfilling, and telling yourself you have no choice. If you don't have choice, who has choice? Willpower is not enough. Willpower alone, trying to create a life you absolutely adore, it's not enough. You have to partner the inner work with the outer work. And the problem with beating yourself up because you're not being disciplined enough is that you keep telling yourself you're not good enough. You're not worthy. You haven't done enough. Your confidence keeps taking a beating. You get more and more stuck in a life you don't even want. Honey, go and get the book. It's time to see things differently. There is a different way to live that doesn't feel like death. Death whilst you're still alive. I hope you understand what I mean here. I'm not saying that there's no action to take. Of course there's action to take. I take a heck of a lot of action. I probably work harder than a heck of a lot of people. But at the same time, I don't as well. I work hard for a very short period of time and then that's it for the day. Whereas most of y'all, you're working 8, 9, 10 hours a day. That was my life. Sometimes even at the weekend, hoping that you maybe will save enough, maybe you'll get out of debt, maybe you'll have enough money, but you're draining your own life force. Anyway, enough for today. I was gone on long enough. Go and get the book, okay? The confidence book. The link will be around this video. Honey, willpower is not enough, but there is another way. There's another way to do life that is actually a heck of a lot more enjoyable. It can sometimes feel scary in the transition. It will feel scary in the transition, no doubt about it. You've been trained to think that you're supposed to live the way you're currently living. So yeah, you're going to be afraid. But if you will see through that fear, if you will allow yourself to do both the inner and the outer work, you will change your life, and not just yours, generations to come. Wake up, my love. There is a better way to live. You are a divine being having a human experience. You do not need to depend just on your human ability. Wake up. Go and get the book. Open your eyes to a different way of doing things. Come onto the Deliberate Millionaire Path to Peace and Plenty. It will change your life for the better. Okay, until the next time, share this video with somebody else. Go get the book. Much amazing love.